Welcome to the kitchen at Rita's Roost. I've got this recipe here, and I want you to know that I've never made it before, but I've hung on to this recipe, clipped out of a magazine. It wasn't even clipped, it looks like it was ripped out. McCall's December of 1988. So I'm going to finally make it. And it's a apple butter pumpkin pie. Now, I have a son, his birthday's coming up, and he loves pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie and angel food cake are two of his favorite desserts. But, you know, he was born in 1990, and I've saved this recipe since before he was born. And his birthday, he'll be 32. So anyway, we're going to make this pie, and it's going to be for him. Now, I may save me a piece out of it. He may not get the whole pie, but he's going to get most of it. So anyway, let's make this pie and let's see if it's good. What are we going to start with? We're going to start with a cup. It said a cup of solid packed pumpkin. So here's our cup of pumpkin. And that wasn't the whole can. That was just half of this can. So I'll have to make pumpkin bread or something out of that other part. And I've read the recipe. And it says to combine the filling ingredients in the order given. We're going to preheat the oven to 375. Alright, we're going to start with the cup of pumpkin. And it calls for apple butter. It calls for the store-bought apple butter. But I'm going to use some of my home can. Well, I'm going to get it with my hand. Said I would. There. Sometimes if I do it just right, I can get it out of there. And we'll just call that a cup. That's a cup of apple butter. Taste of my apple butter. That's good apple butter. I did make it myself. And next we're going to add 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. We're not going to add much sugar because that apple butter is pretty sweet. And then we're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And we're going to do 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground cloves. You know, they're kind of strong in my opinion. So we're just going to put a little bit of them. And 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. That's smelling good. Let me put that stuff out of the way. I'll put that up. Let's keep a reading here. And a little bit of salt. 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. So I'll just give it a good shake. Next, we're going to add 3 eggs, lightly beaten. There's our 3 eggs. Put them in there. Need that twist just a little bit. And it calls for a cup of carnation milk, but I'm just going to use my whole raw milk because I improvise with recipes. And I've got plenty of milk, plenty of homegrown eggs, so that's what we're going to use. I'm going to twist that up together, just like making regular pumpkin pie. It looks like. There's our batter, and I've prepared a pie crust here. So I'm going to put that in there. The oven's ready. So it says I'm going to put it in the oven. I'm going to bake it for 50 to 60 minutes. So, and then we're gonna come back and put a strudel topping and bake it a little bit more. So I'll be back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, I'm back. Tell you what, it's looking and it's smelling good. But now my recipe wants me to put a strudel topping on it and put it back in the oven and bake for an additional 15 minutes. So I went ahead and mixed up the strudel topping. It was 3 tablespoons of butter, 1/2 cup of flour, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, and 1/3 cup of chopped pecan. That's a little rotten. So anyway, I'm going to put it, now, excuse my hands, didn't strudel real pretty. A lot of it. Alright, back into the oven. And then I probably won't bring you back until I've cooled it and I can get ready to cut it. Alright, that's it. Be back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, it's out of the oven, and I'm telling you, it sure does look pretty. What did I do with that recipe? Oh, here it is. Here's my little piece of paper. Apple butter pumpkin pie, homemade with love. And it was 1 cup of Libby's solid packed pumpkin, 1 cup Musselman's apple butter, 1/4 cup packed dark brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/4 teaspoon ground nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3 eggs, and 1 cup of carnation evaporated milk in the pie crust and the strudel topping. Now, I didn't make it exactly like this recipe. Like I told you, I've had this since 1988. I had this recipe before my son was born. My son, that pumpkin pie is one of his favorite desserts. But anyway, I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to try it. Let's see if it was worth keeping it all them years. It's been out of the oven, and it's been, so it's not hot right now. I might could have cooked it a little bit longer. Looks like a pumpkin pie. Here goes the bite. It's really good. Really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut another piece, maybe 2 more pieces. Get this one. I bet you're wondering what I'm doing. I'm going to cut that piece, and I'm going to cut 1 more little piece. Now, this is mine and Terry, and this I'm going to wrap up and take to Justin, to my little boy. Alright, this was a good pie, so this recipe is a keeper, and I'm glad I kept it all those years. Bye.